wouldn't say not a real football player, but however, just like it's just a kicker at the end of the day. Even though kicking is very hard, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world, especially in the games on the line. And I think I think people will shy away from like the 3-point try unless like you obviously need it. But I think the 2-point from the 5 yard line, I think that's pretty cool. And then add a little bit of excitement, go for the 3-point. Hopefully the Cowboys can do something like that because you saw what kicking was doing towards the end of the year, and if we had these rules in place,
Yeah.
well, it would maybe be a little different.
Yeah, with Maher against Tampa Bay, it's like 17 missed extra points. Yeah,
Right, and keeps
that
it.
was fun.
It just makes it more exciting. It can bring some different kind of fans to it, especially when, like we talked about, people just like can't stand when a kicker loses them a game. It's like, the offense went all the way down here, and then kicker missed an extra point or missed a field goal. It kind of just takes away from all that and brings a different aspect to it.
I think it also puts a lot less pressure on the kicker as well because you go through all that and then it's all up to the kicker to basically earn the points that your drive deserved. And sometimes you don't get those points, and that's the beauty of the game, in fact. But in this situation, you get that drive completed, then you have an opportunity to basically like upgrade your drive, which is cool. And I think that's an innovative way of thinking. It's like, okay, we'll go for 1 point here. There's no reason to be, dramatic. But then let's say it's 13, say it's like 13-3 or something, 13-6, and you score that 6 point. I'm sorry, 14-6. So it's 14-6. Try that. And so 6 points goes through. It's 14-12. You want to tie it up. You might not want to take that risk from the 10-yard line. You could, if the game depended on it. If you want to go for it all, that's exciting. So you go for the 2-point conversion. Boom, 14. But it's from the 5-yard line instead of the NFL would be the 2. So it's a little different. It's almost like you have to go for it, but it's exciting.
Yeah,
because you have to.
The 3-point would be very hard.
It also. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't know.
Oh no, it's not like it wouldn't be like a guaranteed, especially from the 10-yard line. You have a better probability of going for like 2 points from the 5.
Yeah,
that would probably be your best probability, and I would do that every single time. Go for 2, and then if I need a 3, I'll go for 3. But yeah, 2-point would be the way I would go.
Yeah, and what's crazy about that, I think a team did this last weekend, and they came back because of the rules. They had I believe they had a 3-point conversion, and then instead of kicking the ball, they attempted a 4th and 15, which is their alternative onside kick rule. Instead of doing an onside kick, you can opt to do a 4th and 15 attempt, and they got it, and they ended up getting another touchdown and a 3-point. I believe it was like insane. Yeah, but should the defense return a try for a touchdown, they will receive points equal to what the offense was trying to get, just like the NFL, except, so the defense can be rewarded for, after a bad drive from the defense, they can be rewarded with a extra point conversion, taking back the other side of the field. I really wish they would incorporate a rule where if you get an interception or a fumble or a turnover, you don't even have to go to the end zone. You should get like a point, for something like that, because that's 100 yards versus 2, 5, or 10.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big fan of that rule that you have to go 100 yards and you only get 2 points.
Yeah,
I don't see I just don't see that. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah. So the second rule was another one I would go dive into was the XFL's double pass rule. So you can pass it twice forward, but one of the things that's weird is that if it's behind the line of scrimmage, that's like the quirk to it. Your first forward pass has to be behind the line of scrimmage, and then they can throw it. But if that forward pass behind the line of scrimmage is dropped, it's an incomplete pass. It's not a fumble. So that can be exciting. That'll be interesting to see what play designers do with that, because it's almost like reverse. You have to go backwards then forwards. In the XFL, it's different. I think you can go both ways. So it's pretty interesting. And then the kickoff rules. Let's see. This is their first touchdown.
Kickoffs, they look different. Kicker from the 30.
Lots
The 10
safer.
team lined up at the opposite 30.
Yeah, see, this is cool. And the NFL talks about how they want to eliminate injuries from the kickoff. This is probably the way to do it. I mean, the only hard impact you're going to get is this guy. But, instead of full sprinting from the opposite side of the field to the other side of the end of the field, and everybody bulldozing each other's crown of the helmets, risking injury and concussions, I think this limits that and supports that narrative. But
can't move to the ball is fielded, and here goes Keith Mumphrey.
I think this was last year.
With room on the near side. And for the first time, they get creative. And the Battlehawks have the side.
Oh, yeah.
And a kickoff return for Joe Powell.
Yeah, right.
The end zone.
That's exciting as hell.
And now they say he stepped out. No, touchdown.
And look at the fans, bro. There's so many fans. It's almost like they're more – I know this is like the first level, but it seems like they're more bought into this than they are the NFL.
Everybody loves football in America.
And then this is the real football in America, yeah. Yes, disrespect to soccer. You'll probably never see us talking about soccer on this podcast. So sorry to all the soccer watchers out there. It's the most famous sport in America. Yeah, it's because the entire planet plays it. Doesn't mean it's the best. Anyway.
What the hell is soccer?
What the hell is soccer? Game timing. So XFL games will operate with a 35-second play clock rather than a 40, which adds more offensive plays for the game. And then the clock continues to run on incomplete passes and out-of-bounds plays before the 2-minute warning in each half. And finally, the game clock will also stop on first downs like college following the 2-minute warning. This allows more time to potentially score in the 2-minute drill. So it's more scoring. It's more offensive plays. It gives defense and offense an equal opportunity to gain and lose points on extra points. You got the onside kick, which you can convert on a 4th and 15 conversion, and then there's the rest. You can go onto the Sporting News website and read the rest if you guys want. But I'm in love with the rules. I'm ready to start betting on the XFL because they've got like the spread on their little scoring chart. Ben DiNucci's in the league with Josh Gordon, AJ McCarron, playing for his kids. He's 2-0 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. And then shout out to Davion Davis, Houston Roughnecks. He is out there. He was a former wide receiver for the Houston Texans, so he's out there grinding. So shout out to Davion.
Doing his thing.
He is my future sister-in-law's sister's fiance. Believe that is the correct terminology.
Yeah, a little too much. It's a big family tree. There's a cousin of a cousin who's related to a Pop-Tart who's actually friends with the poster shooter.
Who's related to a Pop-Tart who's married to a potato who's also in Toy Story 3.
All right.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. Sure, I'll put that together because I care about it that much. Yeah, but that's who he is. Shout out to him. Great guy. And that is pretty much it for the XFL. I don't know, I'm going to give you the option if you want to hang around for the ADP segment. It's up to you. I'll know your ear is completely ruptured, so don't kill me because it's partially my fault.
I'm going to have to rest this one out. I'm going to let me know how it goes. I will be thinking of you, and, life will get better,
See, podcasting is a meritocracy.
See, a podcast is a meritocracy. You're not given anything. But yeah, my ears should be good by Monday. We'll see. They didn't really tell me at the doctor when it'll be ready. They just said don't play with the blood, like a little kid in my ear. So I got like dried up scab blood in my ear, a little icky. And we'll see how it goes. But, thank you for having me on. We'll talk soon.
Well, you're a member, so yeah, you're welcome.
We'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon. If you hear me from across the room, yes, from the same house. You hear me from across the room, just talking to myself. Just know I'm not schizophrenic. You know, I'm doing the podcast.
All right, sounds good. Well, Godspeed, brother.
All right, Godspeed. All right, so I appreciate the Rook coming on for that little short segment. I'm glad he was able to do a little bit of participation in that. A ruptured eardrum, I've never had that before, and I know that it sucks. So I appreciate him for coming on and to show you all some commitment. So shout out to him. The next segment we're going to get into is Aaron Rodgers. He just got out of his darkness retreat in Oregon, and I have the picture here. This is nuts. So here, I'll show the screen. This is looks like Narnia. Yeah, so here you go. Look at this thing. I mean, so it's basically like a cave in the middle of the forest, and it's covered in snow. I mean, if you've ever seen Narnia, it looks like Mr. Thomas's place, where he's over there, like, you know, using the flute like an instrument, and the fire is making this lion, and it used to creep me the hell out as a kid. But he was in here for all weekend. I believe there was just a here it is. A queen size bed, a bathroom, and a meditation mat. And then he gets like food like 3 times a day. So this was supposedly supposed to help him make a decision on what he wants to do with football. So he just came out of that. We're going to see if he comes out and says, I'm gay, or if he says, like, you know, I'm done with football. So we're not sure what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. He could say, I'm deciding to get a haircut. He could say, you know, I'm no longer going to wear white thermals when it's cold outside in Green Bay. He can also say, I'm done wearing a fanny pack when I'm out there, or I'm done screwing over the Cowboys and every time we play them in the playoffs. Who knows? We just know he went on this darkness retreat and had whatever food was given to him. Maybe some hallucinogenics were given to him as well. Maybe some Mary J, devil's lettuce. We don't know. We just know he was locked in this cave for whatever reason, and, you know, he's out. So we'll see. We don't know where he's possibly going to end up either. That's one of the things he had rumored when he was out there. You know, is there a possible landing spot that we'll see? Honestly, no. It's a crap show. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he did this. I feel like he's done this last 2 years where he's just like, oh, he might leave. Oh, Green Bay says they're done with Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers just stays put in Green Bay because the fact of the matter is you can't see Aaron Rodgers in a different jersey than a Green Bay Packer. You really just can't. But then you think of, oh, Jordan Love, they drafted him, you know, 27th overall or whatever it was. He deserves a chance. Well, the NFL works like a business, and when you got a primetime quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and somebody that is proven you can get deep in the playoffs, quote unquote, deep in the playoffs, you know, it's challenging, you know, because he's your guaranteed person. You got a good coach, you got a good roster, you got to patch up your weapons, you got some young potential, and you just re-signed Aaron Jones. What are you going to do? And, you know, my guess is I think it's 40% he stays in Green Bay. And I'm only saying that because these theatrics happen every offseason. But that higher percentage chance, I think it's a split between the Jets and the Raiders. It's got to be. I mean, it's the only 2 teams everybody's talking about. There could be a surprise team in there. You could see him just show up in Tampa Bay and just be like, you know, everybody be shocked out of their minds. Who knows? He could, like I said, he could star the next James Bond movie. We don't know, you know. But that's my guess for Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's very creepy that he stayed in a place like this. You know, it just creeps me out. So then our next segment is going to be The Mandalorian. So The Mandalorian is coming out, I believe, in March, and it's starring Pedro Pascal. Unfortunately, the canceled member of season 2, who was a infantry storm brigader from whatever it was, the Republic, she got canceled for saying some pretty crazy stuff. So she will no longer be on the show, although she was one of my favorite characters. She was pretty cool. Baby Yoda's gonna be back. Grogu. We'll play the trailer for you guys. Analyze this some again. In case you haven't noticed, I really like this share screen technique. Could get an ad, who knows? Just put that on a shirt.
Our people are scattered like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for?
All I'm saying is more Mandalorians means more positive reviews.
Being a Mandalorian is not just learning about how to fight.
Plus, he got an upgrade with his car. It's almost like Fast and Furious.
You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost.
His armor got shiny, I can tell you that. A lot more shiny than season 1 and 2.
I'm going to Mandalore so that I may be forgiven.
What's so
for my
good about this series
transgressions.
is it's such an untouched aspect of Star Wars. No one really knows a lot about the Mandalorian besides Jango being in
This is the way.
Attack of the Clones and Boba slightly being in the newer ones. The
And by
ones
the
that were
time
made
it
in
becomes big
the
enough for
80s.
you to act, it'll be too late.
Hang on, kid.
Jetpack, Gatling guns, you know.
This is the way.
The Wolf Spider was a person that looked like that. So that was the official trailer for The Mandalorian season 3 coming out. Season 1 and 2. Season 1 was obviously fantastic. You know, you got through it. You got to see this random Mandalorian, which everybody knew he was played by Pedro Pascal, which everybody loves. You know, Pascal got famous doing Narcos on Netflix, and then he moved over to Game of Thrones season 4, where he got absolutely brutally molested physically in a trial by combat, which is one of the greatest episodes that Game of Thrones ever aired. The mountain just tears him apart in a trial by combat scene for Tyrion Lannister, big Game of Thrones guy. But Pedro Pascal just has continued to grow. He's in The Last of Us, which is a great series. If you haven't seen that, go check it out on HBO Max. I've been wanting to talk about that. However, the kid has not seen it, so I don't want to spoil anything. But I could get a surprise guest on here. My brother, Travis, big entertainment guy. We could talk entertainment hours, and we might talk about The Last of Us. He's big on the game. He's big on the show as well, and we talk about it through text message all the time. But season 1, you know, he goes through, he upgrades his armor. He has a lot of character arc. He starts out as this random Mandalorian, which kind of pokes out from the rest, but they're all scattered across, you know, this one planet. And they're a part of something called the Guild, which is a bounty hunters guild. And he's just this nobody. And then all of a sudden he goes on this mission. He has a thing against droids. He finds a Baby Yoda, which everybody thinks at this time, oh my God, it's actually Baby Yoda, but nobody actually looked at the plot and the timeline of when this was happening and, you know, what is the time period of when Mandalorian takes place. Nobody researched that, so everybody thought it was Yoda, but obviously it wasn't. So anyway, it piques your interest. So then he grows this bond with Yoda, goes into season 2, spoiler alert, Boba Fett comes back in badass fashion. Boba Fett gets his own series. They eliminate that badass fashion of Boba Fett. It's gone. He basically has no nuts in the series and is kind of a wuss, which he even talked about how he want that badass Boba Fett back. But guess who saved the series in that Boba Fett series? The Mandalorian. Bing, bang, boom. Season 3 is coming out. Gonna have some, you know, I don't know if Ahsoka Tano is going to be in there. I don't know if I have a prediction of who's going to be in this series that I don't think anybody is talking about. And I have a theory in the Clone Wars, and I'm not to get too nerdy here, but some of you guys like this shit. But in the Clone Wars, Darth Maul from Phantom Menace, the guy with the double-bladed lightsabers, goes after the dark saber. So there is a chance that in this series of season 3, that Darth Maul will appear. I don't know if I can confirm that, but it would be really freaking exciting if we got to see Darth Maul in action. We saw him in the Han Solo movie at the end. He showed up in a hologram, and you're like, oh my god, like he's got the robot legs, he's alive. That's cool. So hopefully we get to see him in a more scattered fashion. So yeah, that's The Mandalorian season 3. I'm very, very excited for that. I believe it comes out March 3rd, March 1st, I think. March 1st, yeah. So yeah. Possible plot for the series. I think just has a lot to do with the Darksaber. I think it's all going to caress around the Darksaber. It's going to be a power thing, almost like a Game of Thrones plot. So we got some NBA bets rolling right now. NBA returned to work on Thursday. Like I said, the kid got a jackpot. We posted our bets live on Instagram on our stories. Actually, Underdog Fantasy liked my Underdog Bets story. So that was pretty neat. Hopefully, please sponsor us. Please. I want Underdog to sponsor me, please. Because I love dogs, for one. You know, every time I open the app, I say, who's a good me? However, please sponsor us. We're looking for sponsors. Also, True Brand. I'll wear the hat backwards today because the lighting in my room isn't like, I don't have a ring light or whatever, but this hat is by far my most favorite hat that I've ever bought. I've got 4 of them. And True Brand, my brothers are buying them. My cousin is buying them. I got my buddy one. Everybody's wearing True Brand hats. It would be a dream to be sponsored by Ben DiNucci and his partner on this podcast. It would be awesome. Plus, it also give me some inside access to maybe getting Dak Prescott on the podcast. Then he knows, can maybe put our name to work as the Dak Disciples, make us a shirt or something like that. Who knows? Now would be the time to do it. Make a shirt, just the Dak Disciples. But anyway, NBA bets are rolling out right now. We got a 5-leg on Underdog. Won a couple of unders. Let's see how they're rolling right now. So I'm going for over PRA with Jalen Brunson. He's at 23 PRA in the fourth quarter. They're up by 3. That's close one. Monte, I don't think Brunson's going to get that. Let's see if he might exit the game. No, he's just shitting the bed. Cool. Brooklyn is getting absolutely shredded, 63-28. So I bet on Mikal Bridges and Nick Claxton for points, and they're getting shredded by Chicago. So pray for me there. Who knows what's going to happen? It's not a lot of points. So if they can just keep the game semi-close to the fourth quarter and hit their shots, something may happen. I don't know. Monte Morris needs to chill the hell out. I went under his 19.5 PRA. He's the forward for Little Wizards. He's at 16 PRA right now, which he hasn't hit his PRA in forever. So apparently tonight, the night I want to bet on him, he decides to go off. So that's cool. And then Gabe Vincent, keep sucking. Keep doing your thing. Keep sucking. Please. You're at 2 PRA in the third quarter, and you need lower than 18.5. So I think he's solid. So it's looking like maybe a 3 out of 5. Doesn't look like it's going to hit. I'm not very confident. Who knows? That sucks. Next up is the MLB. So spring training has just begun, and there are some new rules that MLB is trying to implement into its system, particularly with the pitchers and the batter's box. So we've got this new pitch clock technique, and I'll show you a live presentation of it once again to this sharing screen. There we go.
See Nick Martinez, he generally rocks. 2023, and the first pitch is fouled back to the screen for strike 1. And Martinez
so he throws that first pitch. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
3, and the first pitch is fouled back to the screen.
He throws that first pitch to Colton Wong.
And Martinez is on the clock.
Martinez is on the clock, like you hear him say.
Is. We're talking about all the new players.
Starts here on the left.
How about the new rules? Things are going to happen fast.
Mid numbers there from Colton Wong. Yeah. So you had about 15 seconds. I think you'll see a full shot clock here in a second.
Keep an eye on it.
So very fast.
Pitchers and hitters alike.
15 seconds. As soon as he steps on the plate. As soon as he gets that ball back in his glove, 15 seconds starts, boom. And he has to watch that clock to the left.
Right, used to, but that is something they're keeping an eye on. Basically, you got to come to a stop is the big thing. You can do all those.
So I'll keep that one and I'll turn the volume off. But here, this is big. I hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it at all because I've played this sport before, and I've talked to pitchers who play this sport at a higher level in the junior college level, and they sit there and there's already plenty of rules where you can't tap your feet a certain amount of times in front of the pill, otherwise known as the mound. You can't do a lot of things that you want to do. All the things you did in Little League where you wanted your own wind up, all the things you might have done in high school where you might have wanted to create your own rhythm and lineup, you have to change when you get to college. And it's a very tough challenge to do because that's when it matters most. That's when your rhythm matters most. The hardest thing about being a pitcher is your rhythm. It's the most important thing. You got to find your rhythm, and it's basically just okay, cool. It's almost superstitious. You get on the mound, you get your right foot planted. I'm left-handed, right foot planted, glove in the throwing a hand in your glove, blah blah blah. Looking at the boom, strike one. All right, hit the ball, rub it, pause, look at the glove, pound it, do whatever you got to do. Get back in there, do the exact same thing over and over and over again, and get in the rhythm. However, shit happens when you're out there and you're playing baseball. You might not be throwing strikes. You might have me at Olsen Field or Bluebell Park and just hear ball 9 and just everybody just clowning you. So the pressure's on there. So you got that on top of you got to throw it in 15 seconds. Oh, look to your left. There's the clock. You got 6 seconds left. You better throw it quick. Your mind's racing. All that calm, cool, and collected is out the window. So they might want to speed up the game, but I think what they're forgetting is there's a lot of strategy that goes into pitch calling. And you said you want to upgrade the game and make it more fun and exciting. And the last thing that you're doing is making it fun and exciting. Whoever the commissioner for the MLB is, I'm surprised I don't know his name is. Just give me 30 days. Give me 30 days. I'll talk to the players. I'll do exactly what the players want to do. And I'll caress a team vote from team captains from every league, which assembles votes from their teams and their organizations and their coaches. And I'll make decisions and I'll ask important questions like, you can wear your own cleats. You can send a message on your gear. You can demonstrate yourself after you hit a home run. You can boast after you shout out to Austin Boast. You can boast after you strike somebody out. You can do these things without being penalized for it. You can have fun. The whole point of baseball, it's America's pastime, but it doesn't have to stay in the past. And I'm sure that if they implement new rules like they're doing now, like the NFL, everybody will complain about it and it'll suck. But I promise you give somebody like me the opportunity to pull the strings for something like this, should work. It'll work a lot better than this. This is distracting. This is stressful. You understand? This guy probably, let's say it's a guy. It's his first spring training game. He has to go through this. There's already enough pressure. You're trying to make an MLB roster spot. You're trying to get in the pitching rotation. You're trying to get in the bullpen. You're trying to get in the starting five. And then as a hitter, you got to get your ass back in the box in less than 15 seconds. So that, oh shit, he just threw me an outside fastball down and outside. He's trying to work me down and he's trying to get me to ground out opposite field. He's trying to get me to ground under a double play. What do I do here? Screw that. Get back in the box and swing the bat at something that's close. Your approach in the batter's box is ruptured. Your approach and rhythm as a pitcher is ruptured, all because you want to make the game faster. I don't think that's the change we're wanting. People say baseball is boring, but now it will just look unprofessional if this keeps, because I guarantee you this may look okay right now, but as soon as somebody gets rattled, let's say in a World Series, and you got that pitch clock, we're going to see games that are very, very high scoring, in my opinion. I think this favors the offensive side more than the defensive side because the pitchers have to have more of an approach than the offense. A hitter's approach is very important, but the pitcher is the one that's making the throws and making the calls. And as well, I feel bad for the people that are calling balls and strikes, not the umpires. I'm talking like, hey, throw a slider here, throw a breaking ball, fastball up and in. Hey, get back this guy off the plate, up near the eyeballs, whatever it may be. Those, you get 15 seconds to make a call. You almost have to premeditate your next pitching call. So I disagree with it. I don't like it. I find it to be highly distracting, and I just don't like it. I don't like it, and that is something you're just gonna have to deal with in this podcast. So, all right. So list your top 3 comedy movies in the comments. If you guys see this once it's posted, I know not many people are gonna tune in live or any. So thanks very much for your support. Thanks, Mom, Dad. However, we have our ADP segment Trak rankings for today, which are our top 3 comedy movies. I'm gonna start at number 3, and I want to go. Oh, this is tough. Let's see. I know my number 1. That's the hard part. I know my number 1, and then number 2 and 3 just gets more and more difficult. Yeah, I got to lean towards Will Ferrell. I think I got to go Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights, number 3. There are so many quotes that you can take. I think all 3 of mine are Will Ferrell movies. There's so many quotes you can take from Talladega Nights. You know, I'll put that knife in your leg, Ricky Bobby. You know, great acting, great comedy. Talladega Nights, number 3. Number 2, I'm going to go with The Anchorman 2. 1 and 2, I should say. Both of them are really good. I mean, it is just so stupid. And the stupid makes me funny. You know, the only stupid that doesn't actually make me laugh is Napoleon Dynamite. I know it might be a tough take there, but grow up. You're not in 7th grade anymore. Vote for Pedro is not funny. And when you wear it to Dollar Beers in Northgate, you're not cool. You just look like you're still in 7th grade and you're watching some $15 movie where the one funny scene from the movie says you can throw a football over the mountains. Dumb show. You know, and at the time my mom criticized it. She's like, why do you watch that dumb show? And I thought it was funny. Guess what grade it was? Guess what grade it was in? 7th. Number 1, this is an easy one. All my fans will love it. The Other Guys. I can quote that movie from the very beginning to the very end. I can quote the theatrical version, the director's cut, the the extended cut, the Netflix version, the Chinese version, the Taiwanese version. I can quote you the what are they called? The blooper scene from the Prius scene, where he's sitting there saying we had an eel shit itself in the back seat there, the snake that ate himself. We also found some unscratched lottery tickets. So I don't know if you guys want to play those tonight. Yeah, Dirty Mike and the Boys, Captain Gene, Enron, Detective Al Gamble, Terry Hoyts. Great movie. So yeah, that's my top 3. I got number 3, Talladega Nights, number 2, Anchorman 2, and number 1, The Other Guys. The kids' picks will be posted online if he feels the right to do so. But I'll post mine online. I'll post them in the comments. You guys comment them on our Instagram or on our YouTube. Let us know what you think. Let's have some fun. You know what I'm saying? God, man, it's so stressful. Doing this all by myself. All right, I already did. Jake Paul. I'm so disinterested in this segment. You have no idea. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I hope Tommy Fury wins. Simple as that. I don't like Jake Paul. I don't like Logan Paul. I don't care if you say, dude, he came up from nothing. He was a YouTuber. Now he's knocking out. It's rigged. It's rigged. Just like the NFL is rigged. Jake Paul doing this boxing crap is rigged. It is. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. That's just how it is. Really? Tyron Woodley's going to lose to Jake Paul? Really? You know what I want to see? I want to see one of those Paul brothers fight a Sigma male mofo like Andrew Tate. You know, I don't care what your views are on him, and you know he's a misogynistic. I don't care what they are. That man was a kickboxing champion in the world, so he's not going to go in there and lose. Why would he do that? Why would he rig for money? He's already a billionaire. Go in there, whoop his freaking ass, say, sit down, YouTube boy, just like AJ Brown said, you know, screw you, TikTok boy, to Juju Smith-Schuster, which we covered in the last podcast. Go in there, whoop his ass, and make him bleed. He's a fake. Although his prime drink, not too bad. What's crazy about boxers and people like that is that if he heard me diss him and let's say I was famous, which I probably will be in like 2 years. Let's say I was famous and I say that and he hears it. The next time he sees me, he's going to want to fight me because guess why? I bet you couldn't guess. He trains how to fight professionally as a boxer. And all of them have that in their head and go, I can beat anybody. Because the common Joe Schmo on the side of the street that's drinking Miller Lite with his buddies, he gets his ass whooped if he tries anything funny. So that's why their temper is high. That's why it's a cluster. But, good thing I got a 100% discount card for that. Try something. Come on. So we get down, Texas. I got open door policy. Yeah, so I hope Tommy Fury wins. He's got a cool name too. I'm not even sure I really like the guy, but really don't like both of them in particular in general. I like Tyson Fury. That's a guy I can get behind. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. That's probably one of the only boxing matches that I have watched in recent memory where I was like, damn, this is a badass fight. So tomorrow, I believe Saturday night, they're both fighting. I'm taking Tommy Fury because you know why. I'm not going to get all grammatically insane on this podcast. Yeah, go Tommy Fury, man. And McGregor is doing Ultimate Fighter on UFC, which I've been wanting to talk about UFC for a long time on this podcast, and we'll get to more UFC fights. There's some good ones coming up. Ultimate Fighter with him and I believe Michael Chandler. I might be wrong on that. That's going to be interesting to watch. That's cool. When Conor McGregor's back, he'll probably go 2 rounds and get knocked the hell out by Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's a dog. Shout out to Buzzing with the Boys. He's on there a lot of times. The Diamond, Dustin Poirier, knocked the hell out of Conor McGregor. Your wife is in me DMs. Yeah, great fights. UFC is very exciting. I love the owner. I love what they're doing over there. And what I think it does a great job of, and I'm touch a little bit into this, and I talked a little bit about this outside off the record, but since we're unscripted here on this podcast, there's not everybody has been complaining about representation of women's sports in the sports world. Whether it be like that clip came out where the guy said, let's get back to the actual basketball after watching women's college basketball and switching over to men's college basketball. Like that dude at ESPN, he's fired. Now, you can laugh at that all you want, and I can't believe you said that. It might have been just like a misword, but at the same time, obviously it's real basketball. Women's basketball is real basketball. It's just the fact that people watch, and more revenue goes into men's basketball than it does women's. My mom's a head basketball coach for the high school. I love watching their games. They're so much fun to watch, and they might not be as talented as the men, but they're fun to watch. And it's fun watching them come together, and they're all wearing their knee pads and their high five. It's something like volleyball. When a point's scored, there's so much camaraderie in women's sports, and it's fun to watch. I think it's very special. And I wish softball would get televised more. Softball, when a softball girl cranks a home run like 390 feet to left field, I get hyped. That is fun to watch. And I don't think it gets enough media attention as it should. However, they also really can't afford it because of the way it works. Just the attention goes the opposite direction. But my point is, for the UFC, that is, if you are a woman and you're willing to get down and gritty with it, I would encourage the UFC, as a pathway or a form of MMA. That is so much fun to watch. And watching 2 women like Cyborg and Amanda Nunes and Paige Van Zandt and all those players, like Paige Van Zandt was a little bit longer ago, but watching them 2 fight, like all those people fight in the octagon, they might be in the prelims or the main card. It does not matter to me. Their fights are highly entertaining, no less entertaining than the men's fights. And I think that's why Dana White's company is so successful in that regards, because it's entertainment. It's not like, oh, they're playing WNBA tonight. Let's make more jokes about how nobody watches the NBA. Welcome home, BG, head ass. But you watch the UFC, I'm hyped to watch. I don't remember her name, but she's from China, and Amanda Nunes fight each other. Or Rose Namajunas. That is my favorite female fighter. Her and Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt left the UFC. I think she got her crap locked in, but she used to be my favorite. And then Rose Namajunas absolutely destroyed that Polish girl. I can't remember. I'm blanking on her name. I wish I had it in front of me, but That's awesome. Like, and they're great at jiu-jitsu. They're great at grappling. They're great at hand-to-hand combat. It's so much fun to watch. So if you're a woman, I highly encourage going to UFC, playing some over there. However, that concludes. We're going to have a short podcast this week. That concludes ours. I apologize for rupturing the kid's ear. The kid, as in the kid on this podcast, not just a general kid. That would be weird. NBA bets, hopefully they hit. Keep you updated on that. We're on Instagram. Follow us on there. I'll point the link up right here. Follow us on Instagram at the Trak Pod and on TikTok at the Trak Pod in all caps. We're going to try and get more and more entertaining as we go. We're going to have some more segments. I'm telling you, this podcast is going to jump when we're both in the same room with some mics. So if you know anybody that wants to invest in this podcast and it likes what we're saying, like we're doing, please share it. Please share it with those people through text, through whatever. If you care about us, if you really want to support us, you give love, we give love back. That's how this is going to work. However, next week we're going to have some returning guests. The analyst and the medical guy should be joining on the same episode. Dates to be determined, but they are both going to be joining on the same episode. I think this will be a lot of fun. We're probably going to talk a lot of Cowboys draft talk. Keep in mind, a lot of our friends are going to be in the same fantasy football league, which is powered by Sleeper. We're not sponsored by them, but please sponsor us. We're gonna host a live draft night. I know it's a long way away, but we're gonna host a live draft night. Do some press conferences throughout the season. We've got a lot of fun plans for you guys. However, I'm excited the MLB has started. Watch out for my Rangers. Astros run the West though. Watch out for my Rangers. They might have a good season this year. Fader bets in the future. If you see it on there, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Fader bets. He hit a jackpot the other day. We both hit a jackpot about a month or two ago. We get a lot of 5 out of 6s. There's some good value in there. And it's not like there's people that are trying to scam you. They work for Prize Picks. They want Prize Picks to make money. But we're unscripted. God, my eyes are blue. So sexy. Anyway, subscribe to our YouTube account, which this will be posted towards. It'll be at the Trak Podcast on there. I think we're at like 20 to 25 subscribers right now. Our last also, if this, I'm about to get into that, but if you know anybody that is good at social media, we're looking for assistance, a platform that I can send all of my stuff at once. Because right now it's homemade. It is all homemade. So I appreciate you guys' support. Like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications for us. Share our stories. You give love, we give love back. Everybody gets a little piece of the pie. We get future sponsorships. Anything that happens, we give it back to the people who were faithful at the beginning. So thanks for joining in. This has been the Brook and the Kid podcast, episode 8. New episodes hopefully on Monday. Dates to be determined, and new guests next week. Appreciate y'all joining in.